CJ Marks here. Welcome to the Confidence Series. Today, I have the first runner-up in the 2020 World Champion of Public Speaking, Linda Marie Miller. Linda, thanks for joining us today.
I'm happy to be here, CJ.
It's a pleasure having you. Let's just jump right into the first question. What is confidence?
To me, confidence is kind of a combination of things. Certainty plus attitude with a little bit of practice thrown in. Certainty to me is the real basis of confidence. It's where I get my confidence from. And it's because I have a certainty of purpose, a certainty of what the reason is that I'm on this planet,
Okay.
my life's purpose. Some people call it your why. I am crystal clear on my purpose. And when you're crystal clear on your purpose, I think it gives you a certainty about what you should be doing in the world, how you should be showing up in the world, right? If you combine that with attitude, meaning not really being about your results on a bad day, just keep going back to this is what I'm here for. I'm not sure how I get to do it. I'm not sure what it looks like. On some days, I'm not going to do it right, but I absolutely am certain and grounded in the fact that this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Then if you throw in some practice, the certainty and the attitude and the practice of what you're about in the world, I think creates, and I'm going to call it confidence, but it's an aura around you that has people feel okay with stepping into your space and feeling empowered. It isn't, some people think of confidence as charisma, right? Charisma or, and I know a lot of people who have charisma, but they have no character.
Yes.
And so for me, confidence that's based on a certainty is kind of an internal character. It's, you can count on me. I am solid for you. You can be who you are in my space. I will empower you. I will elevate you. And so confident leaders don't stand out front saying, follow me.
Okay.
Because generally those kind of people, the overly confident people, nobody wants to follow. I see confidence that comes from certainty as standing behind people and supporting them and watching them fly. So to me, that's what confidence is. And it's not an arrogance but it is a certainty, because my final speech at the World Championship of Public Speaking, not everybody liked it. I got some mail. But it didn't bother me and it didn't set me off of my game, because I have that certainty about what my purpose is in the world, which is to have people get that they matter on all levels. So to me, that's what confidence really is.
Okay, well said. Thank you. Well, let's talk about that World Championship speech. That was not your typical Toastmasters World Champion of Public Speaking speech.
Yeah.
Linda Marie, what inspired you or motivated you to take that route for the World Championship of Public Speaking?
Well, quite honestly, what's going on in the world today, right? You turn on the news and you see it. And I had had this experience, and I had had this awakening inside of me, which most people wouldn't have been all that open with sharing about themselves.
Indeed.
Because, it didn't put me in a great light. I was interviewed after that by someone who said, it was a Black man. He said, where have you been all this time? Like, I don't believe you. And I had to be with him about it. And I had to be, I mean, I'm authentic, that my experience growing up, my experience in my life didn't put me in any kind of a situation where I did experience that I did have any kind of an awakening until I did. And that's just the truth of it. So as I was going through the speech contest, I entered it to enter a contest. I no more thought I would be on the final platform than the man in the moon. But as I started going along, people told me, your final speech, no religion, no politics, nothing that you've seen on the news.
Yes.
Off limits. You won't win. Don't be controversial.
That's what we
Stick with
hear.
the safe subjects. Don't let fear stop you. Be amazing. You know, all of the basic motivational topics, right? And just tell it in a different way. When I won the semifinals, I knew at that moment that there were going to be maybe a lot of people watching. And I knew that I wasn't going to win. But I also thought once that speech streams, they can't take it back. And then the message is out. And for me, that was going to be the win. Now, they recorded it 2 days before, and they called me the day before. And I thought, well, that's it. They're yanking it. They watched it and they said, you know, we can't show this.
So you thought they were going to yank it, really?
I thought they were going to yank it. I thought they were going to disqualify it for some reason. But what they wanted was, they said, we will not be able to show your speech unless you can send to us a written approval from Tony, who was one of the characters in the speech, who you show his picture, that he's okay with this speech being seen on the internet, you know, out there forever, and that we want something from him in writing a release. And of course, he would have walked it to him if he had to. He would have. So, and then when it streamed, I just breathed a sigh of relief, and I said, the world has heard the message, thinking, quite honestly, that I would show it around, I would have the recording, and maybe I could get a book club together, maybe, because at that point I was heavy into research about the real history of America, and have read some amazing books. So I thought I'll start a you know, kind of a white people's book club, and I'll start trying to educate white people, privileged white people, into the same kind of awakening I had. But immediately after that speech streamed, 57,000 people were watching it. My phone rang, the internet blew up, my Facebook blew up, my email blew up, LinkedIn blew up, and I haven't been on LinkedIn in 10 years. I was getting all these messages from LinkedIn from people just anonymously saying, are you the Linda Marie who just gave a speech? Because, you know, I had no picture there or anything. So people were reaching out, and then I knew the world heard the message. And that's when we started One Shared Humanity, which is a movement that you can join on Facebook, One Shared Humanity, or you can go to onesharedhumanity.org and join the movement. And on One Shared Humanity, as a result of that speech, we're having courageous conversations. We are talking about what people don't generally talk about. And it's going to keep growing, and the conversations are going to keep getting deeper and deeper and deeper. So I gave the speech because I didn't care if I won. I have a lot of other speeches. I have other speeches that might have gotten me first place. I don't know. But that was the speech, given what's going on in the world, that I knew had to be given. And that's why I gave it.
Thank you. Yeah, the speech, for those who may not know, is Pretending Not to Know, and it definitely is it's a masterpiece. So well done, Linda Marie.
You can find it out on, I think it's still out on YouTube.
Oh, it's up there. It's still on YouTube. Check it out. Yes. You mentioned One Shared Humanity, and for those that may not be in the know, could you please speak a bit more about some of your other positive endeavors, Champions of Change and Life of No Regrets? For those who may not know, what are these things about?
Yeah, I'll tell you just a little bit of One Shared Humanity too.
Please.
And One Shared Humanity is based on a poem called Outwitted. And the poem is just 4 lines, and it goes like this. He drew a circle to keep me out, a heretic rebel, a thing to flout. But Love and I had the wit to win. We drew a circle that drew him in. So what One Shared Humanity does is it takes all the little circles, the different religions, the different races, the different sexual orientations that people draw circles around to separate. And we draw a circle around the whole, the one shared humanity. And we have difficult conversations about those groups within, with the intent to open the hearts and minds of people that are in our membership. And it's already starting to work. So that's my most recent endeavor. But my life's work is my signature program is called Champions of Change.
Okay.
And Champions of Change, first of all, I'll tell you what it isn't. It isn't Champions for Change. One of the major problems in the world right now is people walk around looking for the suggestion box where they can put in their complaint about what's going on. You see it at work? My manager, I don't like my manager. I don't like what the CEO is doing. I don't like where the direction this company is going. This is what they should do. You know what you should do? You know what our political party should do? You know what the mayor should do? That's the way people show up in the world. Those are champions for change. Hey, will you go change this? Hey, you should change that. Hey, I don't like the way that's happening in the world. A champion of change is a wholly different animal. A champion of change stands in a place called, if it's to be, it's up to me. No matter what it is. You want to change the world? If it's to be, it's up to me. You want to change your environment at work? If it's to be, it's up to me. And you go through a training. I have a training that I've developed based on distinctions of being source, how to be truly inspirational, how to manage your message that you live to the world. All very different types of distinctions than most leadership programs entertain. And the concept is, through the program, at the beginning, you make a declaration, two declarations, one in your personal life and one in your professional life. And I stand in the place that says this: if I can transform you into a champion of change, you will be a champion at work. But not only that, your marriage will change, your family will change, you will be a leader in your community and a leader in the world. No matter what it is you need to take on over the course of Champions of Change, you take it on. It's a 9-month program. And it was developed to be an in-house corporate program, but now it's expanded to also, now that we're in the virtual world, anybody can be a champion of change. And I'll give you an example of the outcomes that can happen.
Okay.
In my last iteration, one of the participants wanted to take on, she wanted to do something at work. She wanted to travel for work. And she also wanted someone to hear a message she had at work. She had a little idea about a program she wanted to do at work. And we're a humanitarian aid company that's global. Now, she is young, right? So she didn't feel she had the confidence to promote her idea. Okay. That was the first thing she wanted to do. Second thing is she wanted to travel and handle her fear of heights. She hadn't traveled because she didn't like getting on planes. She went through the program. At the end of the program, she presented to the leadership at the company a program that would train people how to deal with adolescents with AIDS in Africa. What was required in order to be with young people. So she felt she had a learning that she could give about that. Not only did they accept the program, they sent her to Africa to lead it.
That's wonderful.
All right. So last December, after that program, she took a little side trip and she sent a picture to me the third week of December on the top of Mount Kilimanjaro. She climbed a mountain. And she took this picture and sent it to me and said, "This is what Champions of Change did for me." So it's that kind of thing where there are no limits in your life, which leads to the second program that's my signature program, and it's called Life of No Regrets. And I coach what's called Life of No Regrets coaching. And I'm an ontological coach, a certified ontological coach, which is different than, I don't coach doing, I coach being. Ontological is the study of beingness.
Yes.
Because if you can't do anything unless you have a sense of being at first. So, and I only coach people over 60.
Oh, really? Huh.
And I only coach people over 60 for this reason. I'm over 60, number one. And I see so many people that get close to retirement, and they're deathly afraid of retirement because they don't know what they're going to do after that. Life will be over. And then they just fade away. I coach people into, at some point in your life, in all of our lives, we came to forks in the road. And we didn't go this way, we went this way. And this other road was forever closed off to us. If I coach someone and they've been married for 50 years, but they don't know why they've been married for the last 20, I coach them to end the relationship. If somebody is 70 years old and wants to learn tap dancing and they don't know the first thing about tap dancing, we're going to get to tap dancing. If somebody disconnected from their son 40 years ago because they found out he was gay and they cut him out of the family, we're going to resolve that relationship. I coach people to live into every experience they ever thought was gone for them. And as a result, when the Grim Reaper comes knocking, there is nothing they haven't said, nothing they haven't done. And that is a life of no regrets. And that's what I coach.
Beautifully said. Let me just get to the next. Wow. So champions of change, not for change. And the distinction is really significant. Well said, Linda Maria. I'm almost speechless. But I do have a couple more questions.
Well, you're a champion of change.
Oh,
I mean,
thank you for your kind words.
You could develop it into something really huge, and it's bringing what you already have. The very fact that we're having this conversation means you have a clarity of purpose. You know what you're here for. You know the message you want to spread. Even the speech that I heard that I saw of yours on
thank
YouTube.
You. Oh, thank you.
The message. So you are a champion already. So it takes one to know one kind of thing.
Oh, well, thank you for those kind words. You're making me blush.
Well, and you make it, and the thing is, when you stand in the place that you stand, you make a difference for people. You make a difference for people all over the world. You make a difference for people that are like you. You make a difference for people that aren't like you.
Indeed.
You open the world's possibilities for so many other people.
Thank you, first of all. Yeah, I think as people with a platform, as public speakers, we have the responsibility to speak for more than just ourselves. I agree. And which leads to my next question, as a public speaker and much more, which is more challenging for you, Linda Marie, speaking in front of a live audience or speaking with and engaging an audience online?
Which is more difficult?
Yes.
To me, the more difficult one is the virtual audience. And the reason is this: when I get up to speak to a live audience, I have what I call in sports, athletes use this.
Mm-hmm.
It's called a glaze of panoptic awareness. That's what I call it.
Okay.
So if you're a basketball player and you're going down the court, you're not looking at all the hands and all the legs and all the faces of all of the players. You're moving down the court with a glaze of the best basketball players, with a glaze of panoptic awareness. You know what's happening kind of over here and over there, so that you can move quickly. In any given moment, you can make a move. That's how it is for me with a live audience.
Okay.
I can focus on one person, but I can peripherally see reactions over here, someone over here. I know if I'm giving a speech or I'm giving an address of some type, I can see over here if someone is starting to check their cell phone.
Yes.
And I know that is my feedback. That's on me.
Mm-hmm.
That's not that person being rude. That's my feedback. And I can shift in an instant, because as a professional public speaker, you got to have a lot of tools in your toolbox.
Oh,
And
yes.
and I go into speaking to people with one thing in mind, how they're going to be different after I have been with them. And as a result of being different, how are their lives going to be different, and how are they going to be different in the world? Because here's the key for me. When I'm speaking, it doesn't matter if I'm speaking to 57,000 people or 5 people. My goal is this. I'm not speaking to those 5 people or those 57,000 people. I'm not speaking for their benefit. I'm speaking for the benefit of the people who they will touch and be different with as a result of me being with them. That's how I see it. So if I'm in a room physically with people, then I can feel the energy. I can manage my panoptic glaze to see what the reaction is, if I need to shift. If you're in the virtual world, I'm about connection, right? And I can have I can see you on the screen, even though I'm looking at the camera. But when you have lots of people, I was speaking this morning in Saudi Arabia, and there were so many screens of,
yes.
you only
That's
see just
challenging. Yes.
this, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I have to use other tricks. Like I'm a student of neuro-linguistic programming. So I trust the neuro-linguistic programming in the words that I'm speaking, and the selection of the words that I'm speaking, to be able to keep to engage people at the emotional level I want to engage them at, because that's another key, right? Is people don't remember what they hear in their heads. People remember what connects with their emotion center. So any speech that I give is going to go through there. And I don't mean it like feeling sorry for me. Like if I'm not going to do a speech, I'm going to be a speech. And if I'm feeling anger, I'm going to be angry authentically. I'm going to let myself feel it. I'm not just going to do the speech. So being a speech can have impact in the virtual world as long as you're being it and not doing it. There were a number of people in the lower levels in the virtual world where I thought they had a really great speech, but they were doing it perfectly. Perfect grammar, no ahs, no ums, proper syncopation, a strong beginning, an ending that wrapped around, 3 parts. They didn't go over time, but they were just doing it. They weren't being it.
Yes.
So in a virtual world, it's imperative that you be your speech. And it is also in person too. If you want to be remembered, and if you want to have people be different when they leave. I have a feeling people are going to remember my speech at finals for a long time.
Oh, yes. I'm sure of that. Definitely. Definitely. Wow. I have one last question before we get to this or that. And you've already addressed so many enlightening topics. The final question before this or that I have, Linda Marie, is a lot of people in the world would like to use their voice for change, but they do not know where or how to start. What advice would you have for those who want to use their voice for change, but do not know how or where to start?
Okay. Yeah, it's a very good question. The first thing I'll say is you have everything you need. You have all that it takes. No one was born an amazing public speaker. No one was, it's not a skill set you're born with. You know, some people say, oh, I'm a born speaker. No, nobody is born that way. I have so many horrific stories about my first speaking opportunities that some people that have heard my story said, how did you ever step on a stage again after that? Just miserable performances. Know your why you're here on this planet. Be in touch with your purpose. And when you are in touch with your purpose, the next thing you get to realize is there's nothing that you can do that's about you anymore. You have an absolute obligation, once you know your purpose, to manifest it in the world. It's not about you. So when you fail, pick yourself back up again and try again and try again. If you want to shortcut it, this is my best advice to you. Invest in yourself. Get to a Toastmasters group and find someone who you watch them speak and you go, yes, that's it. That's what I want to be. A lot of people, it's Tony Robbins. That's why Tony Robbins has a huge followership. Zig Ziglar back in the day, if he was still alive today, he'd have a Facebook following of millions. Find somebody who speaks in a way that you would like to speak. Learn from them, follow them, reach out to them. You'd be shocked. Many public speakers are anxious to, well, all public speakers are anxious to have followers. And see what they offer, see what their learnings are that you can get from them, and invest in yourself for that. Lots of places out there you can do that. And if you have a message you want the world to hear, you can change the world with your message. Now, you can't change the world with a message that's poorly given, poorly presented. But if you don't feel like you're a phenomenal public speaker, the only difference between you now and where you get to be is investing in yourself and learning how to get there. And it's just a couple of skills you need, that's all. And then practice, practice, practice.
Excellent advice. Excellent advice. Wow. Let's just jump to this or that. This or that is really simple. It's 5 questions. No elaborate explanations, just this or that. 5 things. A lot of folks don't know that you're an artist in many regards. So
yes, I am.
The first this or that. Paintings or statues?
Paintings, watercolor.
Okay. Next. Phillips or flathead?
Oh, I call it the star shape. I don't call it the pillow. The star shaped, of course.
Okay,
I'm a metalsmith and I use that one most often in my studio.
Okay. Third this or that question. As a metalsmith, gold or silver?
Gold to work with, silver to wear.
Okay. You also travel a lot. So in terms of when you travel, summer or winter?
Ooh, summer.
Okay. Last this or that question. Cats or dogs?
Cats. Chartreux cats.
Chartreux
Chartreux cat, a rare breed that doesn't meow or shed. Perfect
that
cat.
is very rare. Well, you've handled this or that perfectly. This has been an amazing interview, Linda Marie. Thank you so much.
I've enjoyed talking with you. Thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you for blessing us. Any last words of advice or wisdom or anything you want to share or plug before we get out of here, ma'am?
Yeah. Be authentic in the world. Be who you are. Don't sit back. Jump in. Join One Shared Humanity if it's on your heart to be a part of that movement. If you want to get any feedback on any speeches you've given, just send it to my email, miller.lindamarie@gmail.com. Or find me on Facebook, Linda-Marie Miller on Facebook. There's a number of us, but I'm the only one with this face. So find me, connect with me. I'd love to be in service to you.
Beautiful. Thank you so very, very much, Linda Marie Miller. A powerful woman, not just a public speaker, but so many more things. And thank you for blessing us. CJ Marks, the Confidence Series. thanks for your time, and see you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.